Oh wow, beautiful. Look at that.
It's a sign. It's close. Good thing I can't have a mask on.
At least the mask is going to warm our face.
Yeah. Yeah. But my low.
Ready to get started. We can scoot on up here.
Maybe warm.
You can feel the cold coming out.
I don't. Maybe because I'm so warm. It's also very stinky in this chair.
Stinky. But you know,
Really quick, I just want to introduce myself to all of you. My name is DJ. So if you guys have any questions along the way, feel free to ask. Just a couple of rules before we head on inside. First is regarding the face masks. So face masks need to stay over your nose and your mouth the entire time inside the cave, exactly like they are right now. I'm going to warn you, going up and down as many stairs as we do, even without the face mask, it would be pretty hard to breathe. With the face mask, it makes it a little harder, and your natural instinct when you start breathing heavy is to try to rip it off your face. Please, please, please don't do that. We will be stopping in every room, and I'm going to be talking, and I tend to blabber on a little bit sometimes, so you should get a chance to catch your breath. If you need any extra time, don't be afraid to ask. Second rule of the cave, and this is by far the most important rule of the cave, do not touch any of the rocks or formations while we're inside. This is what we call a living cave. That means our rocks actually grow. I know that sounds weird. I'll explain it when we get in there. And if you touch any of them, you can kill them. And we really, really don't want our rocks to die. So everyone, please keep your arms and legs inside the ride at all times. Don't swing your hands out and touch stuff. And then the third and final rule is no food or drink inside the cave, which I can see none of you guys have that, so we should be good there. Does anyone have any questions about rules? Awesome. Okay. Have tons of fun. Take lots of pictures. If you need to use flash, go ahead and use flash. That's totally fine. Okay. Let's get into the fun stuff done. So this cave was discovered about 115 years ago by a man named Edward Arnell, who was hunting for a grouse above our heads up here. A grouse, if you don't know, is like a small wild chicken. He shot one. When he shot it, it fell off this cliff and landed clear down here where we're all standing. Must have been pretty hungry because he climbed all the way down here to get it. I don't think I'd climb down those cliffs for a chicken myself. But when he got down here and bent over to pick it up, he felt this cold breeze coming from the side of the mountain, which I know you can all start to feel on your legs already. If you want to feel what Ed felt, though, just stick your hands down near the ground. It's a lot stronger.
oh wow, it's cold.
So
My
he
goodness.
thought that was pretty weird. I would have thought that was weird too. So he started digging around right here on what used to be a rock face, and he ended up uncovering a hole about the size of one of our trash can lids. So used to be a lot smaller than it is today. He didn't go in the first day, but he came back the next day with some friends, and he was the very first human being to ever go inside a Minnetonka cave. We do give him that credit because as far as anyone can tell, there's no sign of Native American life inside the cave, so no cave paintings, no soak sins on the ceilings, no pottery, nothing like that. But that is it for out here. Any questions before we start in? Okay, let's go. One quick warning before we start down the stairs. These were made a very long time ago, and they're carved out of stone, meaning they're not as uniform as you're used to with stairs today. Please be super careful. Hold on to the handrail. Watch your step, and we should be good to go.
Nice. Oh wow, little is stinky.
That'd be pretty cool.
Nina, do you need help? Do you need my?
Oh, muddy. Oh, thanks.
Come on.
It's okay. We wash our feet.
Just be careful then, okay?
Okay.
Really?
At the cabin or something.
Oh. You need a hand up?
That's an old door.
Come on, come on.
There you go.
Just be careful.
I'll sit back with you.
Come on.
Put your hand in your sweatshirt. Okay, the pole. You can put your hand in your sweater.
Rosé, lleva a la nena porque si no, no puedo filmar y... No, you need to wait for her.
Just here from behind.
Go with mommy. Just be careful.
We'll go up and down, they'll take you into like different rooms and stuff.
Oh wow, look at that. Can be slippery too.
It's easy going in, it's gonna be coming out when you gotta hike all these stairs.
Yeah. Even right here. For a second.
Oh.
For a second.
Sorry.
Mommy, sometimes for grown-ups, did I already know the rules?
No, it's good for everybody to know the rules. Kids and grown-ups.
Oh nice, look at that. It's beautiful. Oh wow. So how many, oh, can we ask question or
Yeah,
no?
go for it.
How many days took to Edward Arnell, or whatever was the last name, to explore all this cave? How
Honestly, I don't really know. So, Ed, I don't think made it very far in the first
Okay.
time they explored. I don't even know if he ever made it all the way to the back
Okay.
before he got too old to really do the stair or do the hills and stuff in the cave. All we really know about the early days of the cave is what he told a paper interviewing him like 40 years after the fact. So I'm not really sure how much he explored or how long it took him, unfortunately. I'm assuming quite a while.
yeah, because it's huge. Ah,
Okay, so this is our first room. We call this room the workroom. Back in 1939 and 1940, a group called the WPA, or Works Progress Administration, came through. They're the group that put in all the stairs, handrails, and pathways in the cave. We call this room the workroom in particular, though, because they used to leave all their tools and supplies right in this area right here, just so you have to pack them up and down the canyon every single night. Makes a lot of sense. The WPA, they were a group organized during the Great Depression, just trying to create some extra jobs and help the economy. Did tons of public works projects all throughout the United States. So even if you've never heard of the WPA, I promise you've seen or maybe even used something that they've worked on before, which is pretty cool. But other than that, that's about it. Any other questions in here?
Did you say how long it took to like build the stairs?
Oh, great question. So the WPA, they were in here from September-ish of 1939 until June of 1940. So it was only around 9 months that they were working on the cave, which is pretty impressive.
Only 9 months.
Yeah.
So, when you're up there,
Mhm.
how did you how can you explain us if we touch the rocks, why do they come dead?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, to explain that, I kind of have to explain how the rocks grow. So, the rocks grow when water drips from the ceiling, carrying minerals in it, like little chunks of rock. And those minerals that it's carrying, they'll stick and they'll start to stack up on top of each other. And when we touch them, the oils in our skin, they clog up all the little pores and openings in the rock, so the minerals don't have anywhere to stick anymore, and they just slide off the sides. It's kind of like if you took a Lego brick and chopped off all the studs on top. That's kind of what we do when we touch them, if that makes sense.
What?
Michelle have buns of steel after this.
After bicycling.
After bicycling and all the stairs.
What do you mean we shall have what?
Buns of steel.
What's that mean?
And the butt muscles have been worked.
It's really slippery up here.
What did you say, John?
It's really slippery.
Oh, yeah.
lots of water.
Oh, look. Now it's. Look. We're getting close
Oh,
to.
that looks so cool.
Oh my gosh. Look at
Why you guys are so late?
that.
I don't think so. Whoa. Yeah, actually, yeah, no, like, whoa. Do not touch the big round sky.
Do you know what that one's called?
What?
Okay, so this is our next room. We call this room the display room. As you look around in here, you're going to see a bunch of our different cave formations or growing rocks on display in here. First up is on the ceiling. You can see these little icicle-like formations hanging down.
Yeah.
Those are called stalactites. An easy way to remember that is a stalactite hangs tightly to the ceiling. Down on the ground, we've got these big tower-like formations coming up. Those are stalagmites. An easy way to remember that is stalagmites might reach a ceiling someday. Right back here, this one reaches from the ground to the ceiling. That's called a pillar or a column. Those typically grow when stalactites and stalagmites meet in the middle. And then, the fourth and final type of formation in this room is right above me right here. You can see this white band. This is called drapery, ribbon, or cave bacon. The reason we call it cave bacon is because when the light's up behind it, it's going to glow a lot like bacon fat. The main mineral that makes up these formations, especially this strip of bacon right here, is calcium or calcite. If you don't know, calcium's in milk and in your bones. But a lot of spots in this bacon, you're going to see these little red stripes in them as well. The red is coming from iron, which we all know when iron hits oxygen and water, it rusts and turns red. So keep your eyes out for all of these formations in the cave, especially these strips of bacon right here. But are there any questions in here?
Making me hungry.
I'm not sure why they didn't put the path or the handrails in front of
All
that.
right,
but they
keep your
didn't.
eyes out, Dalton. What do we call them? What? Stalactites come from the ceiling, and stalagmites are the ones that go up. Yep. Put them in your pocket. The what?
Wow.
Oh, the thing coming from the ceiling. Yeah. I can't remember what you called those. Oh yeah, the icicle. The little ones.
Come on.
It does kind
Oh wow. Look at that.
Maybe back to there.
We're going up. Estamos subiendo. Ya llevamos un buen rato caminando. Look at that.
Oh my god.
That is so cool.
I'm not tough anymore right now because my breath. Mom, I found some. Look. Found some.
What are the ones that grow up?
You can lean against the handrail if you want. But sitting, I don't know about that. Okay, so this is our next room. This room's a little bit different than the previous two. We call this room the Dwarf Kingdom. We actually have all 7 dwarves from Snow White and the 7 Dwarves in here. So if you'll follow my laser, I'm going to show you each one. This is our first one right here. You can see his lower lip comes up into a frown right there. That's Grumpy. Right next to Grumpy, this one's hiding in the shadows because it's shy. That would be Bashful. This one has big droopy eyes and a blanket hanging down on this side. That's Sleepy. This guy, he's got a long runny nose and a booger hanging out right at the bottom. That's Sneezy. This one right here, the light is really bright on it, so I'm going to point my laser right below it. If you can see my laser, it's right, and now it's above it. So the one with the light shining on it, it's kind of dumb. It's like the waterfall on his head. It's a little bit of a dope. That's Dopey. This one, standing on his head, you can see his feet up in the air, beard poking up right here, big smile on his face because he's doing a handstand. This is Happy. And then last but not least, our leader out front, you can see his top hat and his nose sticking out right there. That's Doc. Just a little bit more about Dopey. He's actually the only dwarf still growing out of all 7. Not that the others are dead, they're just dormant. So if you were to come back here in a couple thousand years from now, there's a chance that Dopey might end up being our tallest dwarf, which is pretty cool. You're all invited back, by the way. One more thing in this room, if you look at the back of this room, you can see 3 really large formations standing right in a row. They're all 3 connected right at their base, and together they make up the biggest formation in all of Minnetonka Cave. They're also the oldest formation in the cave, and they're the most famous. So if you've seen any type of promotional material about the cave, even down to like our little magnets up top at the booth that you can buy, that's probably the formation that you've seen, which is pretty cool. And that is it for this room. Any questions in here? Okie dokie, let's keep on going.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Oh, he's ready for us now.
Maybe I can lift my hoodie off. Now I'm like, I'm about to sweat.
One more hand.
It's 40-degree weather.
Yeah. Look at this room.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Johnny.
Okay, so this is our next room. We call this room Soda Straw Ceiling. And if you look above your heads back there, I bet you can guess why. All those little baby stalactites hanging down. We call them babies. That might not be the right word to use. Stalactites are the fastest growing formations in the cave, and they only grow about ½ an inch every 100 years. So
Oh, wow.
even though those are small, they've been there for a very long time. They're called soda straws though, because if you look at some of the bigger ones over here, you can see that they're actually hollow in the middle. That's kind of tough to see back there. But these ones are pretty obviously hollow. That just occurs because as the formation is growing, water comes down the middle and doesn't allow anything to solidify or harden on the inside, leaving that hollow tube behind. And then one last thing in this room, and this isn't officially part of the tour, I just think it's really cool, and I can show it when we've got small groups like this. Right here, we have a very special rock.
Wow.
So, calcium, when it's really, really pure, is slightly translucent. You saw that with the bacon back there, how I could shine my light through it. Well, this is another example of that. If we get it really close,
Oh, that's so cool.
it
Look at that.
glows. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It looks like the amber from Jurassic Park with the mosquito in it, which is pretty cool. Okay, awesome.
Nice.
Let's keep
That's
going.
cool.
Do you have a chance to film?
We
Yeah.
saw.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Sorry, I was in the middle. I realized I was in the middle of the.
Whoa, that one. That one's like a super straight.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
You won't be able to see it. unless.
Yeah, I got it. I didn't touch it. Looks like we're coming to an end here. Oh no, we're yeah. Still a lot more. Guys, look at all the rocks up there. Pretty good. Oh gosh, maybe like one of us tall people could bump our head here. You really want to be careful. Look at slippery either. Much you can drive over your Rosie.
Nice. Oh, be careful.
Family picture.
Yes. Slippery.
It slipped a little bit.
Wait, look at that bent one. That
Nice.
one's bent. That looks so cool.
Huh? What? Yeah. Huh? No. I'm pretty sure this is like halfway.
Oh wow, look at that.
Halfway.
Oh,
If that.
Oh,
That's a pretty big thing.
that might be cool.
Good. Nope, I took my sweater off.
And these are made of like cobblestone. Cobblestone? Cobblestone. With the stuff growing on this bar. I see the bumps.
go with mommy now.
Whoa.
This is cold in here. You're all like hiking in a hot muddy cave. Yeah. Could you imagine?
This is really hot.
It's like 80 degrees.
1 second.
Guys, come here.
Whoa, what's that big thing?
Rosie, turn around.
Turn around, Nina. Nice. 1 second.
And thumbs up for this video.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool.
Oh, there's your bicycle?
The rock bicycle.
They're rock bicycles.
Wow, it's amazing.
He said the rocks look silly.
Whoa, you are big. Whoa.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Big room, huh?
Wow.
Yuppie duppie.
Oh, what's on that room?
Oh, look. What?
It's like bones.
They are bones.
Jack's look.
So, somebody bring the dinner here.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Looks like KFC. Okay. So this is the biggest room in the cave. We call this room the Ballroom. From end to end is 100 yards, which is an entire football field from end to end.
Wow.
And from the highest point up on the ceiling, clear up there, to the bottom of the stairs over here is 90 feet, which is almost an entire basketball court from end to end.
Wow.
Really, really big room, and this is all natural as well. There was no enlarging or excavating done in here, which is pretty incredible. Another thing, if you look up on this rock, all of you have already seen it, but you're going to see this neatly stacked pile of bones. Those bones come from a porcupine. And I know that sounds really weird, but clear back in 1912, a group of Boy Scouts came to the cave. When they got inside, they found 2 porcupines. They say one was dead and one was alive. They are Boy Scouts. We don't know how true that actually is. But because of them, the original name of the cave was Porcupine Cave. It's called that for a long, long time until it was eventually changed to Minnetonka, which it is today, obviously. And Minnetonka is a Native American word that means falling water. So if you haven't felt or seen the falling water yet, I promise you, you will as we continue on. And if you get dripped on, which I'm sure at least somebody's been dripped on already, we call those cave kisses, and that means the cave really likes to see you. Okay.
So the Minnetonka is a Shoshone name or what? What tribe?
So I thought it was Shoshone, but
Uh-huh.
it's not. I don't know what tribe it is
Okay.
necessarily. I'm assuming it's probably Sioux
Okay.
because they were up primarily in like the northeast by like Minnesota and Michigan.
Right.
And there is actually another Minnetonka cave and Minnetonka Falls in Minnesota.
Oh, really?
I'm assuming it's a Sioux word, but I don't know why they would pick a word that's from clear across the country for this cave. I don't know. I just know that it's not Shoshone because I got told one day pretty angrily that it wasn't Shoshone. I mean, it was perfectly mistaken, and I understand why they're upset, but yeah. I felt pretty bad. Okay, one more thing in this room. If you look up on the ceiling right there, you will see our largest strip of cave bacon in the cave, 20 feet long, 18 inches wide. Because that's our biggest piece of cave bacon, we call it Kevin bacon. Yeah, it's a pretty bad joke, I'm sorry. Okay. So we're gonna walk about 200 feet, and then we're gonna hit the largest continuous staircase in the cave. There's 71 stairs from top to bottom. They're very steep, so please be super careful. Hold on to a handrail. You probably won't slip or even trip because they're metal. They're not stone, so they're not nearly as slippery. But please hold on, because if you fall, it will not be a fun way down. So be super careful, and let's go.
Okay, okay.
I don't know if we'll actually see that.
Oh my
because
gosh.
they sleep all day, and most of them actually go outside for the summer. Most of them are in the cave, so we don't get to see anything.
No, don't hurry, no, Johnny. No. You need to grab.
Yep.
Yeah. And also I need to do the same. Oh wow. Oh wow, look at this. So cool. Sorry. Oh wow, that is deep. Hi there.
They say it's 77 steps.
Oh. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Oh my gosh. 23. Ooh, look at that. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31,
Are you coming? You want to go up there?
33, 34, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 46, 47, 48, 50, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73.
Wait.
So how much did you say?
I thought it was 71.
No, 73. Sorry, you're wrong.
I mean, I honestly don't know. Like I said, I've never counted them, so I
Okay.
don't know for myself.
I count 73, so I can be wrong.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, why is there like a piece of metal right there?
So it's an extra stair. A lot of times after a while, the stairs will just get worn down and we need to replace them. And it's easier to just carry all of them in at once and leave them in here than just carry one at a time. So that one's just one extra one that we brought in.
Hello.
Red room, yep.
No, it's got a red light. Try to stop.
Imagine if this was the iron system. That means they might get some of the iron.
Stairs are gonna be crazy going back out.
Yeah. It's not until the bottom until people start to really realize they've got to climb back up.
Yeah.
Okay. So that big staircase that we just climbed down, we call it the stairway to heaven. Meaning, if you used to be in heaven, you came all the way down here, and now you're surrounded by a bunch of red lights. That puts you in the opposite of heaven down here. We call this room the Devil's Kingdom, and inside the Devil's Kingdom, we have a room called the Devil's Office underneath these big rocks right here, and it drops 40 feet below where we're standing. We won't go into it as a tour. It's a pretty extreme climb. The only way to get into it is this way. It goes about 5 to 6 feet back, and then it drops. But if you come up here on your right side, there's a little window, and you should be able to see all the way to the bottom, right here.
Have you ever climbed it?
Yeah, I've done it twice.
Oh, cool. Gosh, I can see it.
Yep. There's a light down there.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see the bottom.
Oh my goodness. That is really okay. I need to turn the.
phone in there, because if you drop
Oh wow.
That wouldn't be fun to fish a phone down.
So do you been over there?
Yeah, I've been down there twice.
So do you been in the devil office?
Yeah.